All right, so of that group of Big 12 teams, we can throw Kansas in there, Kansas State. We got to throw, I guess, TCU in there after what they just did to Kansas. They also beat Kansas State recently as well. But you've even got teams like Iowa State, Texas are both top 15 teams on KenPom. Baylor, I haven't even mentioned. I feel like this conference race is somewhat open now that Kansas has opened the door. But I want to know, who would you take in March? Not who would you take right now from this group of teams. Who do you think has the best chance of making a Final Four, potentially winning a national title? Gio, what do you think?
Hold on. So, all right. So say those
Nah, go
teams
ahead,
again.
Tio.
Hey, just say those teams again, because I tend to go off to the left because I forget what we're talking about. So say those teams, what we're doing.
I mean, I'm going to run through the available teams.
Okay.
And really, we can open this up to the entire Big 12 because I wouldn't be shocked if any of these teams make it to the NCAA tournament. But we're talking Kansas State, Kansas, Texas, Iowa State, Baylor, TCU. And if you want to pick out Porter Moser and the Sooners, TL, I wouldn't slap you too much, but I don't think you should do that. Gio, what do you think?
I won't do that.
I still like Kansas overall. And you guys are going to hear me say this way too much, but just talking about basketball is a game of adjustments. They're coming off 2 losses, tough losses, of course, but that's going to happen to any great team. We're going to see it all throughout the country. I still love them in terms of their talent, the culture. They have guys who have been there before. Great coaching. I mean, everything that you want in March, right? These guys have it. So I'm going with Kansas overall. But Big 12 is crazy right now. I mean, we were just talking about it. Kansas State, TCU, Texas, Baylor. I mean, you can't really go wrong with any of these guys. But if I were a betting man, I would bet Kansas.
Look, here's my thing with Kansas State. I can't remember the last time. Actually, I think I can remember the last time where potentially, now I notice I'm saying potentially, the best NBA prospect on the floor for Kansas State's their 5th offensive option. And that's Naquan Tomlin. Is he your best NBA prospect? It's possible. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And also, if you look at who was the last team to have their best option come off the bench or be the 5th option on offense, that was North Carolina and Marvin Williams, who ended up going number 3. Now, he's not that. But what I am saying is there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of veterans on that team. And Jerome Tang, if he showed anything, guys, if he showed anything in their game against Kansas, he can keep up X and O wise. He can keep up. So I'm picking Kansas State to make a run. If I had to pick one team out of that, just because so many weapons, new coach, there's so much energy. I mean, it's hard not to pick them, but there's just so many good teams in that league.
You guys tell me how crazy this statement is, but I would have Kansas 3rd on teams that I trust in March in this conference. I would have 2 teams ahead of them. I would go K-State for the reasons T.O. just alluded to, but really also, like, I don't know that there's a duo I want more in a single elimination style game than Johnson and Noel. I think that's 2 high-powered guys that if we saw this against Kansas, right? Noel didn't have it. Okay, let Johnson put the team on his back. And then one game later, all right, now it's my turn. Noel's there to get it done against Texas Tech. The other team that I don't think we're talking about right now for fair reason, but I think they've started to right the ship, is Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, I still come NCAA tournament. There's a long way to go to get there, but I still think this backcourt is probably the best backcourt in the country when they play well. When you've got the 3 guys that are all going at once, it's the same formula. It's different faces. There's no Davion Mitchell here defensively, but we've seen this before. And that's, to me, I want good guards when I get into the NCAA tournament. We talk about it being the year of the big. I would take those 2 teams over Kansas, which, listen, T.O. knows this. I've had some back and forth with Kansas fans throughout the year. I was wrong preseason. I was making jokes at Grady Dick's expense. That was on me. I was wrong. But one thing that
it's very big of you, right. Greg. It's very big of you, Greg. Very big of you.
DeJuan Harris. Like, I got a lot of shit for saying, are we sure that that's our guy, a point guard that we trust? I know he's a great guy normally, but are we looking at what Harris has done the last 2 games and saying we trust that guy to run a national title team?
He ran it last year.
It was a lot easier to run it when you got Ochai Agbaji there, isn't it?
Touche.
And Jalen Wilson's great, but I'm just like, we've seen this guy in crunch time against Kansas State. What do you do? Throw the ball away on a swing pass up top? And then I don't know what happened in this last. I'm just saying, they need a scorer at that spot to me. They don't need a setup guy this year. And I don't think they have that right now. So I'm squinting back on the Jayhawks, T.O. Maybe I'll get bit in the end for this. I don't know.